Hello everyone, I am Sanjana Chakravarti from India. Today I am going to share my views on awakening consciousness through dance, Bharatanatyam and expanding boundaries. Bharatanatyam, one of India's most ancient classical dance forms, is not just an art or performance. It is a spiritual philosophy, a way of life, and a path to awaken human consciousness. From the earliest times, India has been united by both spirituality and culture. According to Sri Aurobindo, this unity shaped the very life of the people living between the Himalayas and the seas. The Vedas were the first scriptures to teach the principles of righteous living, known as Siddhanta. To put these principles into practice, people performed yajnas, sacred fire rituals. But when the rituals became more important than their inner meaning, the Upanishads appeared to bring back the spiritual essence. Later, when people again started losing the spiritual side of practice, the Puranas and then the Natya Shastra were born. The Natya Shastra, also called the fifth Ved, was created by Lord Brahma and written down by Bharat Muni by combining all the four Vedas and taking few aspects from them. Its purpose was to teach society the difference between right and wrong through a medium that everyone could understand. Drama, dance, and music were the basic themes of it. The Natya Shastra says that art should lead people toward dharma, righteousness, earth, prosperity, and moksha, liberation. This is the foundation of Bharatanatyam or any other classical dance of India. Bharatanatyam is not just physical movement, it is a spiritual journey that leads one closer to the divine. Ancient texts like the Sangeet Ratnakar by Sharangadev says that dance and music come from Nada, the cosmic vibration, the same energy that creates the universe, the human body, like a temple, has energy centers or chakras, and when this energy awakens, it unites with divine consciousness, with Shiva. Just as a devotee enters the temple to meet God, the dancer uses her body as a sacred temple, moving through the stages of dance that symbolize the journey of the soul. Famous dancer Bala Saraswati explained that the Bharatanatyam repertoire or Margam is like entering a temple. Alaripu, the first dance item of Bharatanatyam Margam, is the outer gate, Gopuram. Jatiswaram, the second item, is the inner hall. Varnam is reaching the sanctum, Garbhagriha. And Tillana is the offering of joy and devotion. Through this path, both dancer and audience can experience moksha or liberation. When a dancer performs with true feeling, the emotions reach the audience who enjoys the rasa. This is why the audience is known as Rasika, begins to feel those same emotions. This connection transforms both performer and viewer. As Rukmini Devi once said, dance is a dangerous art because its medium is the body. The dancer must not perform to show off, but to reveal the beauty of the divine through the body. According to philosopher Abhinav Gupta, when art is experienced deeply, the difference between dancer and viewer disappears. Both are absorbed in bliss, a state similar to spiritual realization. In ancient times, Bharatanatyam was performed in temples by women known as Devdasis. literally translated as servants of God. They were called Nitya Sumangali as well, meaning ever auspicious women, because they were married to God and God cannot ever die. In a patriarchal society, Devdasis were unique. They had freedom, education, and respect, even greater than kings, because their dance was seen as a path to salvation. While men sought liberation through sannyas or renunciation, Devdasis achieved it through dance and devotion. In their homes, women controlled finances and decisions. They read, wrote, and traveled, rare for women of that time. Through dance, they express the feminine sacred, celebrating qualities like love, loyalty, sacrifice, and spiritual power. A performance called Stri Shakti reminds us that true feminine power does not come from copying men, but from recognizing women's unique strength, compassion, devotion, and resilience. When audiences watch such performances, they feel inspired. Dance becomes only an art but a tool for social change. Bharatanatyam and social transformation. Ancient Indian texts like the Kama Sutra even mention people of the third gender, showing that diversity was naturally accepted in ancient Hindu society. In Hindu philosophy, every being, male, female, or other genders, has divine value. Even today, communities like the Hijras are invited to bless homes and weddings, continuing this ancient belief in inclusivity. In Bharatanatyam, gender dissolves during performance. When a male dancer performs as Radha, longing for Krishna, he becomes Radha, pure emotion beyond gender. Similarly, a female dancer can embody Shiva or any other divine form. The dance reminds us that the soul has no gender. It is pure consciousness. This is also seen in the image of Nataraja, Shiva's cosmic dancer. He wears a man's earring on one side and a woman's earring on the other, showing that the divine is both masculine and feminine. The form of Ardhanarishwara, half Shiva and half Parvati, teaches that creation is the union of opposites, male and female, energy and consciousness. Every Bharatanatyam performance follows a sacred structure called Margam, which means the path. It begins with pure dance, Nritta, which does not have any expression, and gradually moves toward expressive dance, which is Nritya, combining rhythm, storytelling, and emotion. Each piece, Alaripu, Shabdam, Varnam, Padam, Tilana, symbolizes a spiritual step toward union with the divine. For example, Alaripu, which is the Nritta, is the dancer's offering of the body to God and helps to balance both sides of the body. Shabdam, which comes under Nritya, expresses the union of body and spirit. Varnam, which also comes under Nritya, shows the soul longing for the divine beloved. This structure reflects the spiritual evolution of a human being from the outer world to the inner soul. Rukmini Devi said that dance should never be about showing the physical body. It should express inner beauty and emotions. Dance is music of the body, where rhythm and movement mirror the soul's vibration. Through discipline, purity, and devotion, the dancer transforms the physical into the divine. Nataraj, the dance of awakening. In Hindu philosophy, mythological stories are the basis of explaining the philosophy of life for a better understanding. The story of Nataraj beautifully symbolizes the message of the destruction of the ego. Once Proud sages tried to destroy Lord Shiva through magical rituals. Shiva calmly defeated their creations. A tiger. Shiva tear off the skin of the tiger and wrapped it around his waist. Then a snake. He calmly wrapped it around his neck as a garland. And a demon, Muyalaka or Apasmara Purusha. Shiva broke his spine, breaking his pride and destroying ignorance. Having overcome all the negative forces of arrogance, fear, and ignorance, and then began his Ananda Tandav, the dance of bliss. This sacred dance symbolizes the eternal rhythm of the cosmos, the continuous cycle of creation, preservation, and destruction. In this story, the sages are symbolic representation of the bigoted priests who from time to time attempted to divert religious faith from the path of attaining ultimate truth and confine it to mere traditions. The tiger symbolizes the priest's ego, while the serpent symbolizes their accomplishments, which are meaningless if they are not dedicated to the ultimate truth and eternal unity. These accomplishments, which, instead of serving the welfare of the world, are merely nourishing personal egos, are subdued by Shiva. Here, Shiva symbolizes not only as a god, but also the eternal unity and consciousness that Hindu philosophy describes as pervading the entire universe. By shattering the pride of the sages and wearing a tiger skin and a snake, Shiva re-establishes that religion is not about personal ego and empty traditions. Tradition, ritual are acceptable only when they connect us to eternal consciousness. Ultimately, Shiva kills Apasmara Purusha. Apasmara is a disease of hallucination or amnesia according to Ayurveda. According to Hindu belief, the visible world is Maya, a drama or play, which is not real. The living being believes it to be true and thus becomes a victim of hallucination. Apasmara Purusha refers to the state of a living being in which it becomes a victim of hallucination and forgets that its existence is part of the universal consciousness. In the Tirumala's Tirumantaram, it is said his dance happens everywhere in fire, water, wind, and sky. The true Chidambaram, the cosmic hall, lies within the human heart. In other words, the dance of Shiva happens within us. When we overcome ignorance and ego, we too experience the inner dance, the bliss of divine consciousness. Today's world is full of problems individualism, identity crisis, and moral confusion. People are losing connection with their culture and spirituality. When we chase material success and imitate others blindly, we lose our sense of who we are. Bharatanatyam reminds us that true progress is not about copying the West, but about rediscovering our own wisdom and values in modern life. In history, this dance gave women dignity, honored diversity, and united people beyond caste and gender. If we revive the spirit behind Bharatanatyam, devotion, discipline, and unity, we can bring healing to many of today's issues gender inequality, discrimination, and social division. When the soul awakens spiritually, it sees oneness in all life. Compassion, equality, and peace naturally follow. So, Bharatanatyam is not just a dance, it is a spiritual practice, a moral teacher, and a social guide. It connects the body to the soul, art to philosophy, and the individual to the universe. True art does not only entertain, it transforms. It awakens the heart, uplifts the soul, and reminds us that all of life is a dance, the dance of the divine. Thank you and namaste.